Hey everyone, how you doing today? I thought I'd show you the next Kriel OPV I've been working on. This is the mid-size one, and I pretty much got the hull complete at this point in time. I did record the early parts of building this, but man, it would take too many videos, and I had a lot of revisions and things on it before it got to this point. But I just kind of wanted to show you what this looks like. It is different looking than the other Kriel OPV that I did, and some other things. But it's a really peculiar design. I'm kind of on board with it. I didn't like it when I first started it, though, but I'd made so many modifications to it that it changed its appearance quite a lot. I ended up rebuilding the bridge area a couple times and other aesthetics on the creation here. So this one is meant to be tougher than this one over here. This was the first Kriel OPV, one of three I plan on making right now. So this was the smaller size one, and I do believe this one is done. Don't mind how it's sitting on the ground right now. It can't fly by its own power here, at least in creative mode here. So, and on this one too, I built it in a little bit different way. I went kind of old school with it. Normally I will build a CV or something that flies in space, but honestly, the lighting sucks in space, and I kind of wanted to go to a place that was I had a little bit of control on the light and a little bit brighter and things like that. So I actually went to one of the moons of Omicron and did the old pedestal thing and had to put in a platform, so I had level ground, and then built it kind of on this square pedestal thing to a point until I got enough thrusters in it, and then I could fly it up in the air. So just kind of wanted to show you what this one's about here. When I was building it, one design thing I was trying to do from the start of it is I wanted to build a kind of a beveled, smooth edge that would wrap around the front a little bit and then kind of go to the sides with a couple blocks in depth, and then kind of go up through like a half ring on the top side, and then kind of do the same thing on the bottom side, and then have like a bit of an inlet in between the two. And then I figured it's just more of a decorative thing than anything else, but to give it some kind of technical looking, I don't know, whatever that is over there. So that's kind of what started this design, and then it was a lot of working it more and more and more until I got it to this point here, and then I got a lot of guns on it. So like the first Kriel OPV down over there, the littler one, has 13 turrets. This one is, I believe, hitting at 17 turrets. So it's got additional 4 turrets. Now beyond that, though, it's going to have some bigger hit points because it's larger in size. It's going to have the same type of hull design where it's multiple layers, probably some Xeno backing blocks and things like that. And it's also going to have a bigger shield than the first one. So again, it's supposed to be like a mid-tier POV. A tier up from the initial one that I built, and it's just generally bigger. It's going to have more hit points, some more guns, not a whole lot more guns, but still 17 turrets, not so bad. And then of course I'll up the shield on it as well, so it'll just be just a tougher OPV to take down in game. And if you don't know what an OPV means too, it is basically an AI controlled ship. These are being built for the game itself, things for the players to shoot at in Kriel space. And that's kind of what I've been working on. And I did want to build a larger one yet once this one is done. And the larger one would be more of a probably borderline or getting into like more of a dreadnought type of OPV, or a tough one, late game encounter kind of thing. This is going to be, I would guess, fairly tough. I'll have to figure out what turrets are going to go on here again, and things like that. But just, with more hit points, more guns, more shield, things like that. As in like generators and stuff. When you're building OPVs too, you definitely want to give it some generators, because players will often target generators, and you want to kind of have them dispersed throughout the hull to increase the survivability of an OPV. Otherwise, if your generators are in one spot, you can blast through the hull pretty quickly, take out the generators, kind of disable the ship at that point in time. Or if you have generators near the core, that would be a bad thing too. But I did learn that you can actually put in multiple cores on an OPV as well. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that's a bit of a cheat myself, but I don't know. You know, it's all about you know, is it fun to take down the OPV? If you knew exactly where the core was on it and it only had one core, you could likely just completely target that area with a powerful ship with like artillery or something like that. Get the shield down, blast right through the hull, and take out the core. So I can see the point on why you might want to have two cores on it. And I'm on a bit of a debate with this one if I want to do that or not, or just have a more of a centralized core location somewhere in the bulkier area of the middle of the ship. So on the inside, obviously I'm going to fill a lot of these blocks in with some Xeno or other backing blocks. It will have a little bit more interior though than the other one, but it's probably going to have like 2 floors on this one. I think it's just got so much room in here that I don't necessarily want a single floor, but I'm not sure. Again, I don't want to build a lot of interior space. Really all you'll be doing in here is once you have the fight with the ship and either get it to stop moving or blow the core out, you're just going to come in here to loot it. But, you know, it'll have, it's got more room in general than the other one. It's just at least about twice the size, basically, and that is pretty much exactly what I wanted for this one here. So, you know, as in its looks, again, I don't know. It's a wacky thing. It's got a little bit like a little bit like kind of a dolphin front end with the smoother thing, or duckbill or something like that. But then it kind of gets into these weird fin things and this weird back structure over here, and all these are kind of matched. I was kind of playing around with different block formations, making these, and it's a lot of fun. And then I ended up, actually when I was transitioning one of these to, I wanted to make it bigger. I had some of these blocks that were kind of inset on the back side like that, and I meant to move them out so they matched the front ones. And then I looked at it, and I'm like, you know, I actually like how that looks better with them like offset like that. So then I kind of mimicked that style, and I built several of these that kind of wrap around here, and they kind of slope downward, and they get a little smaller too. Like the first ones here are a little bit bigger, and then they get a little bit smaller as it goes through, and then they kind of angle downward. And then I mimicked that same design over here, kind of on the, I don't know, fin tips or wing tips or whatever you want to call this, in this general location, and it kind of gives it that little I don't know, pointy thing. In the back area too, I did install an awful lot of these antennas, and the reason why I picked this antenna is because they're angled, and they kind of angle the same, or pretty close to the block work over there, and it kind of gives it, I don't know, that the idea was like little furry edges. Some of the wacky sea creatures out there have a lot of little furry things going on and stuff like that, and I was trying to mimic that a little bit. So it's, again, I don't know, kind of strange. The overall body shape, I would say, kind of looks a little more like a dolphin kind of thing, a little bit, but it wasn't really trying to look like that either. But then the rest of it's kind of, I don't know, maybe a little bit like crab-like, or some of them little fish that swim around the seafloor and eat stuff, things like that. But anyway. Yeah, it's well underway right now. Sorry about not having build videos. I did record the first like 3 hours of working on this in 3 separate videos, but honestly, I'm up to like probably about 6 to 7 hours on this. And what really sucks about doing videos like that is often, you know, I'll get to a certain point, and then I'm just like, you know, I need to redo all kinds of things. So stuff I might have spent like a half hour, like building the old bridge section, I don't even have it saved anymore to show you what it looked like. But look, nothing like this. I don't know, whatever I did, I didn't like it. It basically, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's ugly. I don't like that at all. So I ended up changing that, and I changed so many other parts of the body from the original design. When I started out with this general structure here, it just totally didn't look Kriel to me. It looked kind of, I don't know, it looked a lot more human, and it kind of does a little bit with the glass over here. I admit the glass is not very exotic looking at this point. It does function, and it kind of fits with the rest of the ship. But I mean, if I was going to modify some block work, it's one thing I might look at. It's not super creepy looking, and I purposely try to make a lot of the Kriel stuff kind of creepy because that's, you know, they're aliens and they're hostile aliens, and I don't want them to necessarily pull up in fancy looking yachts and stuff like that. It just would be not fitting for what the intent of these guys were. This one's kind of borderline, so I don't think it's super creepy. Maybe once it gets textured and stuff, it'll probably, you know, with that darker tone and the texture lights and all the weird Kriel funkiness and things, it'll probably look creepier than it does now, hopefully. At least in the right light setting. In this bright light here, it's not terribly bad here. I'll just fly over the ship one more time, and I hope the turret setup is decent enough. Again, it's got turrets pretty much on the top and the bottom of it, fairly evenly spread. It doesn't really have like a focal point, like one side that is more defended than another side. I do foresee maybe a little bit of vulnerable areas, like I could see right now, and maybe I'll try to counter this, but I could see a player maybe trying to get up into this area, like really close to this thing, where it doesn't appear a whole lot of turrets can hit you. I also installed a couple access doors on here, kind of on the back of the fins in this section, so that'll kind of get you into the ship, so you could go pillage it, basically. So, yeah, that is about it. Please let me know what you think of this one. It's, again, Tier 2 or this higher level Kriel creation. A couple other things were brought up on the last video as well, and I just kind of wanted to go over that real quick. I was asked why didn't I show placing of NPCs onto on the first Kriel ship when I was talking about OPV. The reason why is because it's a little tricky. First of all, it doesn't seem to allow you to directly put NPCs, or, well, like spawners, hostile spawners. Like if I was, like, for instance, I spawned this over here just to kind of show you what's going on. Actually, this is not the right one. This is actually the player base version. Hold on, maybe this one. Yeah, this is a legit POI over here. Let me turn off my light here a second. So you would have these spawners here. The thing is I guess I haven't tested it, but I guess how it works is you can't directly put these spawners onto a CV. They can only go onto bases. Why that is, I don't know. Even if the base has, like, or it's a POI like this one, so it has a different core in it, it should technically let you put these on, that kind of thing. But for CVs, it does not. So they'll work on a CV, but what you have to do is literally come over to one of these, get into your end key menu here, do a selection, and say I'll take this and I'll copy it. Once it's copied, I can go over to the CV that I want to put it on, and then I can paste it there. So essentially, if I went over here and we'll put a selection box. Oh, well, can I? Here, let me do a selection box. Why don't you let me do a selection box? Selection box. I am set for selection. That's weird. I don't know why it's not letting me do a selection box here. Turn it off, turn it back on. Okay, now it is. And now technically I could, let's put this up, like say I wanted it right there and hit paste. And there it is. So kind of annoying to work with. I mean, once you paste one of these on here, I can keep on copying the one that's on the CV. But I also was told that, yeah, you just can't go in there and place these as normal. And when you're building like a POI and stuff like that, these all have settings so you can tell it like what is going to spawn, and things like that. I think it, or maybe not. What happened with that? It's been a little while. It's been a little while since I did that, but that's kind of why I didn't show that before, is because this seems to be the method of. Oops, and I can't select that. A little tricky. Here, let me get rid of. Let's just undo. Can I undo? No, I guess I can't undo. Can I remove the selection? Yes. Okay. I never actually technically pasted it in there, Probably why I couldn't get into the settings on it. But that is how it's done. I just kind of wanted to cover that as well. And again, a couple general rules with OPVs is you need 6 direction thrust, but it does not need to have big thrusters. Just as long as you got at least 1 thruster in each direction is cool. With this one, it's got more than that in each direction. Some of them are way bigger than other ones. Like the strafing thrust on here is quite pathetically weak right now. It's just, in the point with that was I just didn't have a lot of room to stick in larger thrusters here, so I put a couple in the back and a couple in the front. It does have some decent lift thrust on it. It does have 4 of these your like large thrusters there. It is running a couple drive thrusters for its forward lift. Reverse thrust also is kind of on the weak side. Just putting in these smaller ones here right now. That might get converted though. I'm kind of looking at this thinking, well, you know, I do technically have 2 block rows of height here. I could probably put in a bigger thruster for reverse, but it's not necessary. It's basically the only thing the thrusters serve as is, besides having at least 1 in each direction, as hit point blocks essentially, and salvage parts, of course. So, you know, this one's got a couple big thrusters, about 4 of these large thrusters, and then several of these 1x2 thrusters throughout the ship. Quite a few on the down thrust over in that area, and maybe it'll get some more down thrusters too. There are a lot of little opportunities, like I could stick some in the fins over here, or it's pretty easy to add some more thrusters to this. But essentially speaking, you know, it's just designed for you to shoot at in game and loot it. So, you know, I don't want to get too crazy. I just wanted this to be better or tougher than the first one, but not psycho either. So it's not necessarily an end game one, but hopefully it'll pose a bigger challenge than what this first one would do to take it down. So other than that, that is pretty much all I got for today. Let me know what you think of this, and if you got any ideas or recommendations or anything like that, please let me know. And other than that, I do plan on building like some more human creations here too. In fact, I might start one kind of and work on 2 things at the same time when I get over to the 3rd one of these that I wanted to do. More of the dreadnought Kriel ship kind of thing. And there might be, I think there's something like that in the game already, but having another one and a new one that was built specifically for it would be kind of cool. With all these ships, though, I'm really trying to minimize the interior space. They are quicker to build because you don't have to think about CPU or all the intricacies that you would need on a player ship. You know, your production, maybe farming, all your thruster balance, your weight. It's just, you don't have to think about any of that. So it's kind of, it's a lot of fun if you're really looking to do some creative block work, because you can just get by with a lot more things here. Now I just realized that I'm missing a chunk of blocks over on this side. Did I do the same thing on the other side? Oh, yeah, it's I must have had symmetry off. I got to fix that up too. So there's little hull problems obviously here and there, but for the most part it's done. Anyway, I will shut up and you guys have yourself a great day. I'll talk to you later.